Hello, everybody. This is Parrish Alford with the Daily Journal. I'm joined now by Ole Miss baseball coach Mike Bianco. Going to talk a little fall baseball. The Rebels recently wrapping up everything, excuse me, with the Pizza Bowl series. Is that right, Mike?
Yeah, that's right, Parrish. We finished up last week, and it was a good fall. But I know the boys are anxious to get through this Omaha challenge this week, and go home for a little bit and catch a little break.
So, what's the Omaha challenge? What do you guys do there?
Omaha Challenge is something we started, I want to say about 12, 13 years ago. It's really a strength and conditioning week of events. It started yesterday, and what we do is we pick four of the older guys that actually are the captains of their respective teams, and kind of put them through the rigors this week. Yesterday's events were a towel hang where they suspend their bodies, hold the towel, and go for time, and a plate hold, 45-pound plate in one hand. How long can you hold it? And they also pushed a 150-pound sled 100 yards in a sprint. And then really the finisher yesterday was an event where they carried six 100-pound sandbags around the football field twice, for time. So just different events, and really what it's about is just to get them to compete and put them in events and exercises that they've never done before, and they don't know how well they're going to do, and just to see them push themselves and build teammanship. So it's a neat week for us.
Mike, I kept seeing the name Shawn Johnson coming in some box scores out of fall baseball. I know you thought he could be a weekend starter for you last year, then had to shut him down early, had the Tommy John surgery. Is that right, or was it shoulder surgery?
Which is the operation on your –
yeah.
And where they replaced that ligament, and had that, I want to say, Parrish in March of last year. Actually missed just about all the fall with all summer and all fall, but then put him in some simulated games at the end of the fall, and was terrific. And once he got released from the throwing games, he was up to 90. Really strong. One of the things we chose to do is to, unlike the other pitchers, for the next 6 weeks or so, to just kind of rest that arm, because even though he hadn't pitched competitively all summer and all fall, and really he has been throwing. Protocol is a ton of throwing over the last 6 months, so we wanted to rest him, but certainly going to be one of those guys in line for a weekend starter. Hope he will be.
When Shawn is healthy, Mike, how is he effective? What kind of pitcher is he?
Say that again. You're breaking up.
Said when Shawn is healthy, how does he win? How is he effective? What type of pitcher is he?
Shawn's a big 6'7", and he looks at power arm, and he has the velocity to be that big power right-hander. But I think in truth, Shawn's a great athlete for that tall, and really a guy that pitches, works both sides, 4 different pitches, a curve, a slider, and a change into just a good athlete at that size. On him, a guy that can do it both ways. He can just power, but certainly with his command ball as well.
Who else among your pitchers stood out for you in the fall?
Well, the guy that most people that had last year, he had minor surgery this summer, a couple bone spurs removed from his elbow, so he missed most of the fall. Came back and played a game against. Looked back to his own form, maybe even a tick better, because remember, he's 2 years surgery that shoulder his freshman year. I think names to look for, as possible start: James MacArthur, fall, big San Antonio, Texas, and pitched as well as any of the newcomers. A guy named Chad Smith from Huntsville. Right well this fall, up to 93, 94, on the radar gun. Left-handers, David Parkinson out of Virginia via junior college, and another junior college transfer, Brian Browning from Alabama, from Birmingham, via Northwest Community College, where they were College World. Some options, I think, and then we know and feel very comfortable with the return. Was an all-SEC performer last year. He's entering his junior year. Little left-hander with a big, fast, really good change-up, and had his role bullpen like it was last year. But depending on what happens with the rotation, we might bump him up there as a starter. Had a really good fall. True freshman last year for us. It logged a lot of innings, and he had a tremendous summer up in Baltimore and had a really good fall.
Well, Mike, when a guy like Wyatt has pitched so much out of the bullpen, how difficult is it to make that transition to starter? If you need him to go 4 innings, 5 or 6, how difficult is that for him?
I don't think difficult for him to do it starter. I think that I, in that little frame, withstand 4. Once you get to the postseason, how effective will he be in, late May and June? Let's face it, that's what you're playing for. And, so we got out, I think his best role for Penn, but depending on, if Shawn Johnson, how effective he is that early in the season.
Mike, you had a number of newcomers, young players contribute in some key roles last year. I want to ask you about a couple. Number one, Connor Cloyd. What kind of fall did he have? I know he had the injury at the end of last season, and he was playing really well at that time.
Had a good, last year entering the season, he wasn't a starter, and he came on midway through the last third of the season and gave us really and gave us something that we didn't have in the line. Out that didn't strike out. This fall comes back, and much a little more physical maybe than he was last year, but not changing the type of player he is. He's a guy battle you, fight you. He's going to either bat at the very top of the lineup, at the very bottom of the lineup. And certainly a guy that I think has an opportunity to start, in the field for us.
Joe Wainhouse was a guy last year, Mike, a big guy you felt like you could get some power at bats from, and he got some opportunities, but I guess had minimal production last year. Excuse me. What type of off season did Joe have, and how did he look for you in the fall?
I'm sorry, the internet connection.
Joe Wainhouse, a big, tall power guy. What kind of fall did he have for you?
I'm missing the name. Is it Joe Wainhouse? Is that who?
Yes.
Joe had a good fall. A big handed bat, 250-pound, just monster at the plate, and consistent. One of the things that Joe needs to do is be a little more consistent. And when he's moving the ball, than anybody we've ever had. We had Sykes work off of Sykes's bat, but he's a senior, and you watch the cage right after him, and when Joe touches the ball, it goes just as far further than Sykes. Got tremendous power. He's worked on hitting the ball the other way with Coach Clement. Defensively, right now, I think he's a shot to get on the field as a DH. And I tell the guys that's the catch-all position. Everybody that's gets. So, DH just one other guy. So the go and good for us is if we can first base.
One more question, Mike, before we let you go. Just talk to me a little bit, if you would, about the newcomers. Who stood out for you? Maybe some redshirt freshmen. I think I saw the name Michael Fitzsimmons coming up a lot. Was there anybody that really caught your eye?
Well, I really thought Nick well behind the plate. I thought all played well. Henry last year and really played terrific behind the plate, and also really swung the bat. Nick Perkins, who DH'd a little bit for us last year, played well. And Nick Fortes, and really, excited, for him. I thought Ryan, an infielder from Orlando, had a terrific fall, and just a super athlete. Paired, he can play anywhere. He's a shortstop in high school and pitched a little bit for us this fall and did really well. In short stint, would be a bull. 5, very slender, infield, athletic, really moves well. You never think that you see him out on the field. Errol is that could play third, could play some first, even run him out in the outfield. Just was really excited about. And I think you'll see some different guys. Even though we returned 7 of the starting 9, will play third again for us this year. Errol at short, but at second, Tate Black, other tremendous, like he did last year. I think he's ready. Time for a really good spring for us. Moved Will Golson over to first, some outfield and first baseman. So some new faces, but some returners. So excited about it.